Hey everyone, welcome back. It is October 28th. Looks like we got some stuff to do.
In which criminals do whatever they want under the name of justice cannot be left alone. Only now does the government speak of taking countermeasures. But their actions are too little, too late. The government as it stands has been left behind the times. It is obsolete. If this is a ship that's bound to a rotting dock and destined to sink, we might as well destroy it once. Let us end this chaos through my hands and yours.
He's a politician of the ruling party, isn't he?
I heard they're splitting up to form a new party, so an election might come before the year's end.
People in charge is shattering, so highly populist person is making a new party. It's like, this might be a little weird for a lot of Americans, but in which America is one of the few democracies that have only two parties. I don't think that's fully the case, but America's two-party system is radically different than England, Germany, Japan, a few other countries that I can't really think of off the top of my head, in which they can just go, we, a bunch of like-minded people, are forming a new party. It's being spearheaded by this well-known guy who is a career politician, and we're basically putting this group together. So it's like, oh. And then we look at America and it's like, oh, sorry, we got a two-party system. This works out a lot better. And it's like, oh, okay.
I'm gonna vote this time for sure. This man has my support.
You haven't voted until now? That's problematic as a member of society, you know.
Politics just never interested me before. But this politician seems pretty amazing. He's passionate and thinks of the future. I mean, someone like that should be prime minister. I'm definitely voting for him.
Well, I suppose that makes sense, since the other politician seems so unreliable.
So I don't think I've ever really talked about this aspect of... I'm going to get back to this. I don't think I've ever really talked about this aspect of this game, in which they really do, and that scene in particular, okay, so there was a very, I don't want to say long time ago, he did kind of exist in the Renaissance type era in which there was a set of rules that you could make to how you put in a figure, how precisely to take over the world or whatever system you want. It's where because the guy Machiavelli, where we get the phrase Machiavellian, basically devised a way to control the world. And one of the first things that he basically said is institute a highly charismatic person into office, and then have that charismatic person find an enemy to face. If the enemy is enough of a threat that regular people will suddenly become politically active, then they will rally behind the charismatic person to take it on. It is literally step one. It's like, oh, I see what's going on. Anyway, me just going on that diatribe, let's return back to the actual game.
When you say that you want us to cooperate with you, what exactly do you intend us to do?
By the way, I'm not really drinking a soda right now. Instead, I got this sparkling cider that I got from downstairs, because we were doing some party thing yesterday.
That's a good question. But might I have a cup of coffee first?
Sure, you could have this, you can have some of this coffee I made like 3 weeks ago.
Quit effing around!
Please keep this short.
There's a bounty for information in addition to the arrest warrant. Those are quite desperate measures. I'm referring to Sai-san's actions. I assume all of you are at your wits' end as well. She must be considerably vexed if she's gone that far. Make headlines with the arrest warrant, then use incentives to get testimonies. It's not a bad method.
Hmm.
The police have nothing on us. There's no way they can make an arrest.
True. I'm the only one who's ascertained your true identities. However, the groundwork for fabricating testimonies and concocting a culprit are underway.
We don't care about that self-gratification. Get on with it.
I'll be blunt. I'm thinking of triggering a change of heart in Sai-san. I've already discovered that she has a palace.
Huh? Really?
Is this to prevent the investigation agency's recklessness?
Precisely.
Still, there's no need to change her heart just for that.
Indeed. It's hard to believe that a single person can fabricate all that.
Unfortunately, that's not the case. What if I told you that those around her would turn a blind eye to false evidence?
You saying the police would do such a thing?
No, he's saying that the Japanese police would do such a thing.
It seems they're more trusted than I thought. Their priority is settling the situation. They don't care who the supposed culprit is.
No!
They're completely rotten.
My objective is to find the true culprit. That must be the case for all of you too. However, the current situation is extremely bad.
If worst comes to worst, someone unrelated will be set up as the culprit, huh?
Kind of.
Our only solution to this is to make Sai-san come to her senses. If she's in her right mind, she can stop this situation.
Ow.
Her sense of justice wouldn't allow it.
So that's why...
The truth will be covered up, and an innocent civilian's life will be destroyed. I can't allow such a thing to happen. My own ethics won't stand for it.
I mean, I guess I can understand how you feel.
And changing Sai-san's heart will be to protect her as well.
How do you mean?
If the true culprit were to learn that she's responsible for the investigation, what would happen? I'm certain they'll aim for her life. She's the perfect target to place blame on the Phantom Thieves. So how about it? Will you agree to my plan?
Even though you're particular about being just, you're willing to get your hands dirty?
It can't be helped in order to ascertain the truth. There is also one more merit in changing Sai-san's heart. It will become a warning to not mess with us. They can't go public if someone in the investigation has a change of heart. It'd show their corruption. All that's left from there is for me to discover the identity of the true culprit.
What do you mean?
You're gonna tell us to announce our disbandment once the real culprit is arrested, aren't you?
As expected from a Nijima. So, what do you say? I don't think it's a bad deal for either of us.
So I'm going to just step in right now and I kind of explain where the story is basically going. There are 3 dungeons left. Size, the true culprit, and then getting to the bottom of mementos. And Akechi is basically saying, all you would need to do is disband once, publicly as the Phantom Thieves once the true culprit has been exposed. And since he doesn't really know too much about mementos, we can basically just explore mementos and not really do anything with the palaces afterwards. So effectively we could be fine with this. I think the real problem is something that I described months ago. Okay, so let me just kind of explain where I'm going with this. So, at the very beginning of the game, I mentioned, well, not really at the beginning, but I mentioned quite far into the game, I can't remember where it was. It was the conversation between Akechi and Sai about what justice means. I think it was after the 3rd, maybe 4th dungeon. And I mentioned... No, it was the first time that I brought Akechi up. And I showed that he had justice. And Yusuke says this very interesting line.
Even though you're particular about being just, you're willing to get your hands dirty?
And I feel like that is actually a very important part about his character, because he then says this.
It can't be helped in order to ascertain the truth.
So, like I mentioned, each character in this game that is given a Arcana card has the card in reversed, basically meaning, you know, it would normally mean one thing, but instead it is now being used to describe something else. Let me see if I could actually pull it up really fast. It doesn't look like I have it listed anymore, which is weird. There it is. Major Arcana. Okay, so I'm gonna bring up 3 cards, and I'm gonna explain why I'm bringing up these 3 cards. The reversal of the Fool card, holding back, recklessness, and risk-taking. The one way to describe it is, in reversed, is the Fool reverse suggests that you have been conceived of a new project, but aren't ready to birth it yet to the world. You may worry that you are not fit, or that you do not have all the tools, skills, and resources you need to make this project a success. Or perhaps you have a sense of timing that isn't right. Something is holding you back, and you are preventing yourself from moving forward. You may choose to keep this new opportunity to yourself, or you may just be parking it until a better time. And when you look at the main character as a whole, a lot of society is all about holding him back, to the point where he basically just starts breaking through it. And you could kind of say that in a way, he has already kind of surpassed the Fool. But there's also something really interesting about him no longer being the upright spirit, the upright one, which is spontaneity and a free spirit. A lot of what we've been doing in the game is very reserved. You have a very strict schedule to go through. Now let's bring up justice. Normally, justice is truth, cause and effect, and law, but its reversed is unfairness and lack of accountability. The reverse justice can suggest that internally you know you've done something that isn't morally right. Others may not see it yet, so you have a choice. You can hide it and hope no one finds out, or you can own up to your mistakes and make focused action to resolve the situation. Whether you choose, you need to live with the consequences of your conscience and go with what feels right for you, which really does describe Akechi throughout most of this game, where he's sitting there going, you know, something's not right with the police and I need to fix it. And you kind of know, you kind of feel that everything's been kind of drained with him at this point, where he's just like, I'm just kind of fed up with this right now. So
it can't be helped in order to ascertain the truth.
Meanwhile, we have Sai, who is Judgment. And Judgment would normally mean inner calling or absolution, and I honestly feel that that is what she thinks she's striving for, but she is also an inner critic with a lot of self-doubt, which makes her reversed. Judgment reversed calls for a period of reflection and self-evaluation. Through meditation or quiet contemplation, you can arrive at a deep understanding of universal themes weaved throughout your life and what you can do to change to avoid these situations. With her job, she has not been able to have a moment of rest, which is a big portion of the way that she is described earlier in the game. You may have kept them... You may have kept them secret or hidden because you fear how others may judge you. you clear these past mistakes and regret and any associated guilt or shame, work on your self-forgiveness, self-acceptance, self-love, and release and freedom. And I don't think we're going to get to... And every single time that we kind of cut back to the present, quote-unquote, with Sai inside the interrogation cell, you can kind of tell that she is currently going through that because her getting the calling card has been a shock to her system. Or, in other words...
There is also one more merit in changing Sai-san's heart. It will become a warning to not mess with us. They can't go public if someone in the investigation has a change of heart. It'd show their corruption. All that's left from there is for me to discover the identity of the true culprit.
And there's a good reason why I replayed that entire section. Akechi is trying to forcefully change her self-reflection. Well, her, she's trying to actively stop. Well, he is trying to actively force her to reflect on what has happened to her, and I don't think she wants that right now, but she is definitely going through it because of everything that's happening.
Makoto, what's your take on all this?
It's a well-made plan. It even takes putting an end to our team into consideration.
I'm flattered to hear that.
Why are you willing to do all this, Akechi-kun? Why do you seek justice?
Because of sickening human beings. Yes. My contempt for such people drives my sense of justice. It isn't some grand reason like society's sake or some lofty ideal. It's simply an absurd grudge. And extremely personal.
Dude.
And I kind of just went into why all of that does actually make sense for the card that he currently has. He is not doing this for societal justice, it's personal justice, which is why, in a way, he's not really thinking too far ahead.
You know, doesn't he remind you of us?
You think?
I can't really explain it, but I guess it's how some disgusting adult pissed him off.
We're similar, Maybe that's why I thought that I could ask this of you all. Won't you cooperate with me on the mission to change Sai-san's heart?
Not a bad deal.
Thanks. I was actually rather worried there. This mission can't succeed without your cooperation, after all.
The Phantom Thieves will be disbanded, and everything will work out. I pray.
Mako-chan.
I'm okay. I never brought it up until now, but the reason I joined the Phantom Thieves is because I wanted to change my sister's heart. I was hoping it'd never come to pass, though. I've also known for quite some time that she has a palace.
Why didn't you tell us?
It was too selfish of a reason. Though I was too scared to look any further into it on my own.
Why don't we try going there now to scope the place out? A lot of this will be new to me, so I'd like to get myself accustomed to it too.
I'm sorry, I actually have plans today.
I see. That's unfortunate.
Nope. Okay. Apparently we're gonna just jump straight into tomorrow.
Will you tell your sister about this?
Of course not. It's just...
You seem awfully evasive today. Is something the matter?
I just can't make time today.
Let's call it a day then, and resume this tomorrow.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Wasn't Makoto acting a bit weird?
Well, this is about her sister.
Well, I guess that can't be helped. Regardless, it all starts tomorrow. I hope this goes well.
With all that in place, let's actually talk to Sai about this.
Goro Akechi? Then the Phantom Thieves targeted me as per his advice? And he had already experienced the metaverse by the time of the Okumura case?
Yeah, it's almost like I didn't actually explain any of this to you.
That can't be. I mean, he never said a word.
Of course he wouldn't.
Although, his attitude did change suddenly around that time. Akechi-kun kept quiet about the most important details, and my own sister may be a phantom thief? If this is all true, I'm appalled as the commander of this operation. I alone was kept in the dark. So you became convinced of another's existence through the 2 mental shutdown cases. And if you were apprehended while falsely accused of those crimes, that villain would still be loose. That's why you targeted me? Not for your own preservation?
You believe in me now.
Believe you? I'm just considering it as a possibility. Then again, if you wanted to evade capture, triggering my change of heart wouldn't guarantee anything. Your actions as Phantom Thieves would still be met with hostility. If this villain does exist and is setting up your group, I would be targeted next. Did Makoto come up with that speculation?
What are you talking about?
Perhaps I'm overthinking things. Hey! You need to keep your focus. It seems you're completely worn out, but the look on your face isn't one of defeat. Why is that?
Well, I haven't lost yet.
I'm amazed. It seems you can still talk. When you were arrested, a man at the scene told you that you were sold out, correct? Those words normally hint at the existence of a traitor. However, if your story till now is true, one reason can be concluded. It's frustrating to admit, but at a certain point... No, most likely from the start. I was a mere puppet. Someone set up only to bear responsibility later. Someone intended your arrest, and the minimal staff directly involved were in their pocket. And if that's the case, true integrity would side with you.
Judgment rank 6.
All right.
Alright.
No, I'm jumping to conclusions. I don't believe your story yet. There's something I need to confirm with you. Was a change of heart triggered in me? What happened in the time between entering my palace and your arrest?
Funny you say that, because that's gonna happen tomorrow.
Tell me everything.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
What's this favor you need? It's late already.
Oh, apparently that wasn't the end of the day.
We'll be going to Nijima's palace, so I want to look into her. Things like her work ethic and relationships. It doesn't matter whether it's public or private. Those would help us come up with countermeasures in case we hit a roadblock in her palace. I can look up more, you know. Stuff like her repertoire of underwear. A girl shouldn't say things like that. You tell her too.
What else can you dig up?
Well, like her history with men. You're phantom thieves! Ahem. Also, I may be overthinking it, but my voice... Ow! Same as always. Let me finish first! There's something else we want you to look into.